Hi, so for this tutorial, I am going to be using a Caron Simply Soft. Now this is Ogo. That's why it looks kind of wonky. It's tan. And then I'm going to be using a 4mm crochet hook. Sorry, the glare. So a 4mm crochet hook. So let me talk about this pattern just for a couple seconds before we jump right into it. You are going to be doing a multiple of 15 stitches. So the group of 15 stitches makes up your owl and then your in-between spaces. The in-between spaces I like to add because it gives that owl the pop. So, you see the owl more. If you wanted to go up a size, you're going to chain 60 stitches. So 60 stitches gives you 4 full owls. However, if you want to do it with, say, a size 6 hook and you wanted to use bulky yarn such as Loops and Threads Charisma, then you would chain only 45. So then you would have a multiple of 15 stitches total, but then you would have a count of 3 full owls. Okay, so you just want to keep that in mind when you're making a hat. If you're using bulkier yarn, chunky yarn, which would be really cute, and I have done, you will have 3 owls and you will chain 45. 45. And if you're using a size 6 crochet hook, then you would have 3 full owls total. But I am using, and so if you're using a 4-weight yarn, which Caron Simply Soft says it is, but it's on the thin side. So I'm still just doing 60 stitches, and even if you're using a 4-weight yarn, I would still recommend doing 60 stitches total. Now we're working the owls from the top down. So that means the top of the head of the owl to its feet. The hat that I'm doing, we're going to do mosaic at the top. So that's why we're going to make the owl band first, and then we're going to work the top of the hat. Now, if you don't want to do that part and you just want an owl hat, then you could work the top of your hat downwards, but you would increase till you have 60 stitches. So, you're forming your hat, you would keep increasing until you have your 60 stitches, and then you would start working your owl, and you won't have to do what we're doing today. But for today, you're going to chain 60 stitches. I will have a link down in the description box below, and I will put all this information down below as well. It is for a foundation chain. You really want a nice stretchy chain because, like I said, we're going to be working from the top of the owl head to its feet, and then you're going to be flipping this to work the top of your hat. And so this is going to be in the middle of your head, and you want it to be stretchy. So you really want a good stretch chain. So all I did was I did my stretchy foundation chain of 60, and then I double crocheted in each stitch. Now, when you connect it and you chain 2, that chain 2 is just a chain 2. You will double crochet in that same stitch as your chain 2. And then in each stitch around. So like I said, we have 60. So now I chain 2. I'm going to go into the same stitch and put a double crochet. Now we are going to start forming our owls, because we already have our base laid out which is the double crochets. So let me get this situated so you can see. So we are setting up our owls. In the first 2 stitches, you're going to do 2 front post double crochet, one front post, one double crochet in the next 4 stitches. One front post in the next 2 stitches. And that is our owl. So your owl is made up of 8 stitches. You'll have 2 front posts, 4 double crochets, and then 2 front post double crochets. So you'll break this off into 4 stitches right here will be for the right side of your owl, and then the last 4 stitches will be the left side of your owl. So like I said, you have 8 stitches total, and that makes up your owl. The in-between stitches is what we're going to be working right now. If you wanted to not do this part, I would suggest at least doing a stitch or 2 in between your owls, so that way your owls pop and you're not just having back-to-back owls. So in the next 3 stitches, you're going to put 1 double crochet, one front post double crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 3 double crochet, front post, 3 double crochet. And that makes up our little space in between our owls. And like I said, if you didn't want to do that, I would at least do 2 stitches, or at least 1, you know, if you didn't want to do 2, but to give you that space in between your owls so your owls really pop. I'll show you one more time the owl setup. 2 front post double crochet, 1 double crochet in each of the next 3. Oops, I'm sorry, 4. So 2 front post, 4 double crochet, and then 2 front post. Now we're going to do 3 double crochet, 1 front post, and then 3 double crochet. And then we have our second owl and then our little space in between. So I'm going to finish this up and I will meet you back at the beginning. Alrighty, I finished my round of owls. I chained 2 and then double crocheted in the same stitch as the chain 2. Because remember, that's chain 2 is nothing but a chain 2. Now, we are going to start forming our owl. You have a section of 4 stitches and then 4 stitches. So the first 4 stitches I said was the right side, and then the next 4 stitches is the left side of the owl. So these first 2 front posts you're going to skip. So that's your first stitch, second stitch, and you're going to start in that 3rd stitch right there. So now we're going to do 1 front post into the 3rd stitch, a front post into that 4th, and then 1 front post into the first skip stitch. So wrap your hook around and 1 front post. Now into that 2nd skip stitch, you're going to do another front post double crochet. Now, pull some yarn. This part is going to be a little tricky. Just like before, we're going to skip these first 2 stitches. You're going to front post into that first stitch, front post, into that second front post double crochet. Now, you're going to front post, but behind these stitches. So you're not going to back post, you're going to front post. So you're going to move these stitches out the way, go behind them. Okay, go to that first skipped stitch and put 1 front post double crochet. And again, behind these 2 stitches, go behind it, go to that second skipped and do 1 front post double crochet. And there you have your little twist for the start of your owl. So I'm going to show you that again, but for right now, let's double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. 1 front post, 1 double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. And now we're back to our owl section. You pull some yarn. Oops, so sorry. Alrighty. So this part I find the easiest, these first 4 stitches. You're going to skip the first 2, go into that 3rd, and do a front post double crochet. Go into that 4th, and another front post double crochet. Go to that first skipped and do a front post double crochet, and the same into that second stitch. Alrighty, so now we're here again. You're going to skip these first 2 stitches, which are your double crochets. You're going to go into that first front post and do a front post double crochet, and into that second do a front post double crochet. Alrighty. Now here are your skip stitches. You're going to go behind those 2 stitches, find that first one. Oops. I told you this is the tricky part. It's even trickier trying to show. Okay. Go behind those stitches and pull up that first double crochet. You're going to do a front post. Now, if it's easier, you can pull these stitches up this way. Okay? So pull those 2 stitches up, leaving those in the front, and that way you can find your stitches and do your front post. See how I did that? So you have your skip stitches right here. I folded this over, pushed that out, and then I was able to get my 2 stitches. And then you go front post in the both of them. So 1 front post in each double crochet. And then there you go. You have your little twisted owl. So you're going to continue this until you get to your beginning. Then you're going to slip stitch, chain 2, and then I will meet you back here when I finished the start of each of my owls. The next 2 rows, we're going to do the same thing. Well, not this same thing, but the same thing I'm just about to show you. It's just going to set you up for your next cable in. So I chain 2, and then I double crochet in that same stitch of the chain 2. Behind here, remember it's twisted, you will have your first 2 stitches. So you want to front post double crochet around those first 2 stitches, and then the next 2, and continue that on for the next 4 stitches. So you will have 8 front post double crochets in total, and that's your owl. So the 8 stitches that makes up your owl. And there you go. Now you can see the twist, and you're starting to form your owl. I wonder what makes Caron Simply Soft so shiny. You see that shining? Alrighty, so in the next 3 stitches, 1 double crochet, 1 front post, and then 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And again, there's those 2 stitches behind. Whoops. I'm going to front post double crochet, and those 8 stitches total. Going to follow what we just did the whole way around. So you do your 3 double crochet, front post, 3 double crochet, and then your 8 front post double crochet until you get to your end, and I will meet you back here when I'm done. And you're going to do that for the next round as well. So I'm going to meet you back here once I finish this round and the following round, okay? So for this round and the next round, you're going to do the same exact thing. 8 front post double crochet, follow your 3 double crochets, 1 front post, 3 double crochets, then 8 front post double crochets into your owls. Okay, I finished those 2 rounds, and as you can see, you can really start seeing the shape of your little owl head. So now, let me pull some yarn, but we are going to repeat the start round. So this round, where it crossed over, we're going to repeat that. So you're going to skip these first 2 stitches, and you're going to front post into that 3rd stitch, into that 2nd front post double crochet, and then you're going to go back into your first skipped one and put a front post, oops, a front post double crochet, and into that second one, a front post double crochet. Now you're going to skip these two and go into that third and put a front post double crochet, and in that fourth, a front post. You are going to be moving. Let me zoom out just a little bit so you can see. You're going to be moving these forward, bringing these stitches behind up, so that way you can get to those two stitches, because you're going to go behind these and grab that first front post and put a front post double crochet, and then again behind these stitches, grab that front post double crochet and do a front post. There you have your little twist again. One double crochet in the next 3 stitches, one front post double crochet, and then one double crochet in the next 3 stitches. You pull some yarn. Want to see who was with me real quick? Hey you, Derpy, say hi, pretty boy. Psst, 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 psst. Hi. Sorry, I just had to show you him in his glory. Alrighty, so now we are back to our little owl face, because we're working from the top down. You're going to skip these first 2 front posts, and you're going to front post double crochet in that third, front post double crochet into that fourth. He liked the camera life. He had to get his 15 minutes of fame in. So the first, the third, and the fourth stitch, after you skip the first 2, you're going to put one double front post double crochet. Now you're going to go back to that first skip stitch, one front post double crochet into that second skip stitch, skip the next 2, one front post double crochet in that third stitch, into that fourth, one front post double crochet. Now remember, this is the tricky part. Behind these 2 stitches, you're going to do a front post. Are you kidding me? So once again, we double crocheted in those front post double crochets in the third and the fourth stitch. Now this is the tricky part. Remember, you're going to go behind these 2 stitches, and you're going to front post double crochet in that first skipped stitch, front post double crochet in that second skipped stitch. If you can, fold that over, and you can bring that forward, so that might make it a little bit easier for you. So I'm going to go the whole way around, do my 3 double crochets, front post, 3 double crochets, and I'm going to work my owls again. I will meet you back here when I have mine's completed, and I'll slip stitch, and then we'll go into the next round. Here's some kitty cuteness for you. Look how cute. Look how lovey-dovey. He's a brat today. I don't think I said this before, and I should have, and I apologize. You will end in 2 double crochet, and remember we started off with 1. So that gives us our 3, 1 front post, and then our 3. Alrighty, so I finished doing my owls, and the camera makes it look so much more difficult than what it really is. I promise you, you can do this. Even if you are a newbie, you can definitely do this. It's a lot easier than it may look doing the twists on this one. This one's really easy, but on this one, I promise you, it's really easy. So, for these next 2 rows, they're going to be a little bit different than our first setup section. So, you double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 2, but now we are going to front post treble crochet in the next 8 stitches. So and this is the body of our owl. Hopefully don't have no more interruptions from this Sir boy over here. Now these stitches, remember, they're behind, so they'll be a little bit more trickier to pull out, but you can do it. Right there. Let's go behind. And then there you see. So now you can see the little face really good. Here is where we will put our eyes, and I'll talk about that more when we're done. And then now we are forming the body of the owl. So the next 3 stitches, 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, 1 front post double crochet in that front post, and then 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And that is our round. You're going to do 8 front post trebles, 3 double crochet, 1 front post double crochet, 3 double crochet. And you're going to continue this the whole way around for this round and the next round. So you'll have 2 rounds of 8 front post treble crochets, and then you'll double crochet where you double crochet, and then front post crochet where you front post. But your owl this time is going to be the 8 trebles. So I will finish out this round, and I will meet you back here when I'm done. See you in a hoot. Look at this boy waiting for the yarn with his little paws right here, like, give me the yarn. Go ahead. I'm ready for it. Right? You little baddie butt. Alrighty, I finished my 2 rows or rounds. And now you can really see our little owl pop out. And now you see why I do this in the middle. It separates the owls, and you can just really see your owl come to life. So now we are going to do the feet, and it is going to be the same as we did up here. You're going to skip the first 2 stitches. You're going to front post double crochet in the next 2, front post double crochet in the first skipped stitch, and then into that second skip stitch. Skip those 2 front post trebles and go into that third with a front post double, into that fourth with the front post double. Now behind there, which it should be a lot easier since they're longer stitches, you're going to find that first one and put a front post double crochet, and then into that next a front post double crochet, 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, one front post double crochet in that front post, 1 double crochet in the next 3, fuzz right there. Now we are going, I'm going to pull some yarn, and we are going to do our owl feet again. So remember, skip the first 2, go into that third and do a front post double, into that fourth a front post double, into that first skip stitch a front post double crochet, and into that second skip stitch a front post double crochet. Now skip the next 2, a front post in the third and the fourth. Now I'm going to go behind again. So just push it back, bring it forward, and there you have your 2. So in that first skipped, do your front post double, and in that last one, your front post double. I'm going to continue working the pattern. You see little feet? I'm going to continue working the pattern the whole way until I get to the end, and then I will meet you back here. See you in a hoot. Okay, so I finished my round. Now you can see your little owl. Here is the little feathery part of the head. Here's his little face, the body, and then the feet. So in the last round, you're just going to put a half double crochet in all of your stitches. Now I have 60. If you're using the same yarn or a 4 weight, you'll have 62. If you're using bulky weight yarn, you will have 45. So I will just do a half double crochet in all the round, and then I'll get back to you and we can start the top of the hat. Okay, I'm all done. So here is the base of your hat. Now, this could just be a headband if you want it to be. Or if, you followed like I said, and you didn't want to do the mosaic that we're going to be doing for the top of the hat, you can just work it from the top down and just do your 60 stitches, or if you're using the chunky yarn, your 45 stitches, and then you'll be done. That's it. But we are not done. So this, I have 4 owls total. And now you can really see your owls. So for the eyes, at this point, this is when you want to add your eyes, because when you get the hat, then you have to go in like that. But it's a lot easier to do it this way. You can use buttons or wooded beads. So I have these little wooden beads right here. Get them at, I believe, any craft store. I got mine at Joann's, and I got the big bag that has the small beads, medium beads, really large beads. I'm going to use a dark coffee bean color, and we're going to put our eyes on. So let me get situated, and then I will show you how to do that. And this part is totally optional. You don't have to add buttons or beads or anything. If you don't want to, you could just leave the owl just like it is. But I love to add the eyes, so it really makes your little owl pop. So right here you have your 4 stitches. You're going to go in between the 2nd and the 3rd. And there you have your little eye. Now I go in again just because I really want to make sure that eye is really, really secure. So I'll do this a few times because you don't want your beads to be loose. If you're using beads. If you're using buttons, you don't want those to be loose either. So definitely go in them a few times and then go behind it and then work in the next one. So again, you're going to go right between that 2nd stitch and that 3rd stitch and continue working your eyes. I'm going to do all my little eyes and I'll be back, and then we will finish off this hat. Alrighty, so I got all my beads done on my owls. I single crochet just around the top, the total stitches that I have, which is 60. Alrighty, so I did a row of single crochet all across the top, and then with my secondary color, I did a row of single crochet in the back loop. And I am using Loops and Threads Faucet, and I want to say Ember is the color. Yep, Ember. So that is what I am using. So I have a total of 60 stitches. So if you're doing this, let me zoom out just a little bit right there. If you're doing this, and like I said, if you're using the same yarn or a 4-weight, even if you're using a size 5 hook, you'll do the 60 stitches. Now, if you are doing this with a chunkier yarn, such as Loops and Threads Charisma, anything chunky, and you're using a size 6 crochet hook, you will have 45 stitches. So you're going to keep both of your yarns intact, and with your main color, which is the tan, we are going to do 1 double crochet. Now you see that front loop, because we right here, see that first little stitch right there? These are the front loops, because we back loop, single crochet, and then you're going to work into the front loops. Whenever you do your double crochets, you'll work them into those front loops. So in that very first one right there, you're going to do 1 double crochet. And this mosaic is called Apache Tears. It's a free one. If you don't want to follow along with me, you can just search it up and learn how to do the Apache Tears. I'm so sorry for the sun. I have the light on and everything, but the sun's so glaring. Alrighty. Now we're going to do 5 single crochet. Now when you do these single crochets, you want to watch. Now that first stitch is right there, so that's taken up. So you're going to go to the second one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and in the back loop only, you're going to single crochet. So, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to double crochet again, and watch your stitches in the front. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right here in that front loop, you're going to go down and do your double crochet. I'll do it one more time. 5 single crochets in the back loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Watch your stitches, so then count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into that 6th one, that front loop, and double crochet. Whoops. So I'm going to do this the whole way around, and then I'll meet you when I'm done. Okay, so you'll have 5 stitches. So if you count it all, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then 50. And then you'll have the 1 stitches in between. So 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 60. I think I did that right. So yeah. Alrighty. So that is what that looks like. So all it really is groups of 5 and then your 1 double crochet. So now you're going to, give me 1 second. Let me close the curtain for you. That way you can actually see. Alrighty, so going to single crochet into the same stitch, and that right there in that front stitch right in front of that double crochet, you are going to put a double crochet. Now 5 single crochets in the back loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now in that front, that stitch right in front of that double crochet, you're going to double crochet. See? And now it's coming together. When you're doing this, try not to crochet super tight, because I notice with mosaic, you do get tight stitches. So now we're going to do 5 stitches again, single crochets in the back loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that stitch right in front of the double crochet, you're going to do a double crochet. Alrighty, do this the whole way around, and I will meet you back at the beginning. Alrighty, back at the beginning. So in that same stitch where we slip stitch into the first, you're going to do a single crochet, and then right in that second stitch, back post, single crochet. Now in that stitch right in front of it, you're going to put a double crochet. So now you can see the pattern. every stitch in front is going to be your double crochet. Now you're going to single crochet 5 in the back post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that stitch right in front, you're going to put a double crochet. Now you can see like little staircases. I call it little staircases being built. Now again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back loops only, and then right there, right in front of this double crochet, that little stitch, that front loop, you're going to put a double crochet. Alrighty, so we're going to follow the same thing, 5 stitches, and right after that double crochet, we're going to put our next double crochet in the row down below. So it's always going to be the color that you're working with, if you notice that. So the row down below is the tan, and then the next row is going to be, well, whatever color comes next, because this is a multicolor. But anyway, so I'll do this round, and then I'll meet you back at the beginning. See you in a hoot. Alrighty, done with that row. Now I'm going to do one more row with you, and then I'm just going to do the hat until I'm not sure, just maybe like a good amount on my head, and then I'll just do like a regular bind off. But before I do the bind off, I'll get on and show you how I do that. But I switched back to my secondary color. So in the same stitch, we're going to single crochet, back loop, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then that stitch right in front of that double crochet, you're going to put a double crochet. And the next 5 stitches, back loop, single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then that front loop right there, you're going to put your double crochet right after, or right beside that double crochet. And that is what you're going to start having to look like. See how it goes up? You can see my color slightly changing. It's like from a pinky brown to now it's going into like a mocha brown. So I'm going to continue around. I say about 8 more rounds. So 1, 2, that gives me 10 rounds completed of the Apache cheers. Apache tears. So you're going to do 10 rounds total. It might be a little bit slouchy of a hat. If you don't want it to be a slouch hat, then do 6 rows and then start your decreases. I just decrease in a solid color, or you can even just cinch this all together without decreasing. So I'll show you both ways, because I might just do that. I did that to the last hat when I did the mosaic in it, and I loved how it looked. But yeah, I'm going to finish out a total of 10 rounds of this. And remember, it's just 5 stitches in between and 1 double crochet always after that double crochet. So that's all you're going to do. It's really easy. 5, then boom, double crochet, 5, and then double crochet. And then when you switch your color, the same thing. Back loop, single crochets, and double crochet in the row down below with whatever color you're working on. So let me finish my rows, and I will get back to you, and we'll finish our hat. Ready, so this is the finished hat. I ended up doing 11 rows total of the Apache tiers. And then what I did was I decreased. So I just decreased in my faucet's color, the Ember. And I did a round of 5 and then decreased and then 4 and then decreased. And then I just cinched the top. I added a fur pom-pom that's removable. And then down below, I did 1 row, well actually 2 rows of half double crochets. So of the color that I used up here, the Ember, just to tie it all in. So there is the hat, all the little owls. And yeah, so I really hope you liked this tutorial. I hope you give it a try. It is a lot easier, I promise, to do the owls. And then this part, this is really, really easy. This is the simple of the mosaic. So there we go. I hope you all are having a hooterific day. And until next time, Mrs. Hooty Hootington out. Bye.